Hello and welcome back to a very short episode. As we promised, we would cover the Kalinga Super Cup, which recently finished yesterday. And congratulations to FC Goa on winning their second Super Cup title. And all in all, to say it was very well deserved from their side. They've been like very good season. Their season was like just overshadowed because we saw a generational Mohun Bagan team that was like too good for the league. So they were good in their right way. I think if any team that deserved to play in the continental stage, other than Mohun Bagan, it is definitely FC Goa. Although it remains to be seen since Manolo Marquez is fully committing to the national team and is going to leave FC Goa, what becomes of them, who comes of coach of the club. But traditionally, FC Goa have been known to hire very good coaches. They have a very decent squad, and the players they sign, especially the Spanish players, sign sorts of fits with the system that they play. Very like attractive and flashy football which they play. Not much defense, but more focused on attack. So that gives that probably gives a idea about the preview of the Super Cup. So the Super Cup started in 20th of April when Kerala Blasters took on East Bengal in the first round. There were supposed to be two matches that day, but as we have mentioned in one of our previous videos, which we will upload soon, that Churchil brothers, the provisional title winners at the time when the draw was done, decided to, let's say, back off the competition because of, let's say, proposed like bias from the AIFF according to them. So Kerala Blasters comfortably, I think they beat East Bengal because they fielded their strongest 11. The only downside was that they would miss Adrian Luna, which was their captain and arguably their best player right now. But still, they managed to even though he got injured early, they still managed to overcome them. I think thanks to a very phenomenal goal from Noah Sadoi. And so they would go on to face Mohun Bagan Super Giants, who got a bye because Churchill chose to not play in the tournament. So coming to the next game, it was Goa versus Gokulam Kerala. Contrary to the scoreline, it was actually a very good game. It was just that Goa were like a class apart in compared to Gokulam in terms of finishing. At least Gokulam could not finish any of their chances. And if you are playing against a team like Goa or like a team that finished second in the league, team that is this consistent, you should take your chances. Otherwise, they will punish you, and that is pretty much what happened in that game. Comfortable win for Goa there itself. So, coming to the next matchup in this bracket, it was Odisha versus Punjab. So this was a surprise actually because Odisha actually finished above Punjab in the the league stage of the ISL. Barely missing out on playoffs to Mumbai City, and Punjab again had a very mediocre season, but surprisingly they beat Odisha convincingly 3-0. I would say it was like in terms of chances created, it was 50-50. Again, Punjab did finish all of their chances, and that is why they won their game. And so it was Goa and Punjab in the next round of the quarterfinals. So we'll come back to that later. Now coming to the most interesting game of all, Bengaluru versus Kashi. So Bengaluru are fresh off let's say disappointing performance in the final of the ISL against Mohun Bagan. And I would have I think most of the people would have thought that okay, since they are still in that form, okay, they would want to win a trophy. This is a golden chance for them because they are considered, along with Goa, they were probably one of the favorites to win it, especially since they were able to beat Goa in the semifinals of the ISL. So but then what we saw was how would I say, extremely boring game. It was I don't know what to say. Interkashi, they did their part very well. They defended very nicely. Bengaluru could not finish there any more. 90% of the chances they could not finish. And even though they took a lead, Interkashi, equalized in the 87th minute, and when it went to penalties, I think very poor penalty taking. I think Sunil Chetri was the only person who was like looking confident while taking the penalties, and Kashi could go on to win. And immediately after the win, they released the statement regarding like we do the something towards like we do the talking on the pitch, like putting a dig at Churchil for not playing in the tournament. So yeah. And the next game was Mumbai City versus Chennai. I think this was a pretty straightforward game. Chennai was like completely outclassed, 4-0 game over. And I didn't expect Chennai to do much because they had a horrendous season. Only Mohammedan and like, to an extent Hyderabad having a worse season. Now coming to Northeast versus Mohammedan. So Northeast was one of the teams which I had high hopes on, especially because they were playing very good and they had like arguably the best player in the league right now in terms like by far to an extent. Like one of the what do you call? We wouldn't expect such a quality player to play for Northeast, but what a signing they had and what a player he was. I'm talking about Ajare. He went on to score a hat-trick in that game against Mohammedan. And I actually expected Northeast to reach, but we'll come to that later, what happened in the next round. So Northeast comfortably beaten Mohammedan, who never stood a chance, and arguably I think till now I think it's the worst performance by a promoted team so far in the ISL. I mean, even if you look at other teams like East Bengal when they played their first season, or if you look at Punjab, I think nothing comes close to this. So yeah, now coming to the, let's say, the surprise package, I guess. I wouldn't say tonight, it's like surprise package, like the dark horses of the tournament, Jamshedpur, and you will get to know why I said that when I go on to the next few games. So Jamshedpur, as you know, actually, I mean, against all odds, qualified under an Indian coach, despite having a mediocre season last year. And I mean, they are characterized by very sturdy defense, and they score like 1 or 2 goals, and they usually tend to defend most of this thing, like sort of like how Atletico Madrid plays. And they are the only Indian team to have an Indian coach right now, like since the beginning of the season. So again, as you all know, it's been Khalid Jamil, like a very well-known figure in like the Indian football coaching scene, and he again proves that certain Indian coaches have the traits to go compete against top-level national team coaches. And Jamshedpur, as you know, is not, even though their owners are Tata, but they're not like considered as a club that overspends or buys a lot of players. They relatively had like a similar squad compared to last year, barring a few additions. Even the foreigners, where most of them they retained. So yeah, comfortable win for Jamshedpur. Now we go to the quarterfinals. So Mohun Bagan came into this competition fielding their B team with just one foreigner and only like 3 or 4 of their best Indian players. The rest all were like under 20 or young kids like from the reserve teams. And Kerala Blasters came in with arguably like the best 11 they could put, bar the likes of Pune. What would you think would have happened? You would have thought, okay, Kerala Blasters are going to win this comfortably. But as someone said in one of the Blasters groups, I am in, like, you never expect anything from Blasters. They lost to a Bengaluru FC's reserve team few years back. So I thought, okay, this time something would be pretty different because the first game was promising. So, and plus this is a golden chance to win a trophy because relatively they got an easier bargain, especially since Mohun Bagan didn't field their best 11. But no, not only Mohun Bagan did dominate the game completely. They scored first and second, completely killing off the game. The score doesn't reflect anything. Kerala Blasters could not go anywhere near their defense, and they literally played like a champion team. That shows like it's not just the starting 11 or the main team. If you go down like towards the depths, they still have a better players than most of the starting 11 of the other ISL teams. So kudos to that. Mohun Bagan win 2-1. They would go on to face the winner of Goa versus Punjab. Okay, now this was a very tight game. I mean, at one point you would have thought that Goa would have bottled it because it took them a 90+4 minute winner to win the game. And they were actually losing 1-0 till the 89th minute. So both the goals came in the space of like 5 minutes, one in the 89th minutes and one in like towards the end of injury time. So I thought I was going to see another blasters like performance from Goa, but then they held on. I think they didn't expect probably to for Punjab to play this well. Again, credits to Pulga Vidal. I think he played in very well in the previous game for Punjab in which they beat Odisha. So yeah, so Goa managed to scrape through, and this is where we thought, okay, little doubts. Okay, they are little vulnerable, but then yeah. So going on to the next game, Inter Kashi versus Mumbai. Again, a very good, resilient defensive performance from Inter Kashi's side. They tried as much as they can. It took a 72nd minute wonder like strike from Chamte to win the game for Mumbai City. I mean, the general consensus was everybody would have expected Mumbai City to win, but kudos to Inter Kashi for being the only I-League team to actually give some competition to the ISL teams this year. So yeah, coming to the last one. Last one was like, let's say, I would say like I thought would be like one of the games of the tournament, but sadly it was a 0-0 draw. Although it was quite entertaining, both keepers with a shutout. And Jamshedpur again showing how resilient their defense is. Like it was literally like a competition between like a team only a completely attack oriented team and a completely defense oriented team. And it was like, I don't know if like neutral will like it, like if you like goals, but someone if you like if you are a keen observer on tactics and all, you would have liked this game to an extent. So yeah, it went down to penalties, and Jamshedpur slightly managing to like scrape ahead 4-5 on penalties. So yeah, all of a sudden Khalid Jamil's team is suddenly in the semi-finals. Yeah. So coming to the semi-finals, it was Mohun Bagan versus Goa, and the first half was very tight actually. Goa, despite being what do you call, clearly the stronger side and fielding all their foreigners, like almost the similar team that they field in the playoffs of the ISL. And Mohun Bagan, as I told, how will I say, put up a B team. In the first half, they looked very even, and in the match, the first half ended in 1-1. Like Mohun Bagan literally scoring 3 minutes after Goa opened the scoring in the 20th minute. And despite all the things, like Goa could only score like in coming even in the second half when they came back and scored 2 goals courtesy of one penalty. All the 3 goals were set pieces. So in an open play, they could not manage to, let's say, open or crack open the Mohun Bagan defense. And again, credits there. I mean, if despite being completely inexperienced bunch of players, they were able to hold their own against arguably the strongest opposition they would face in the competition. But then overall, I mean, I think it would be a completely like freak result if Mohun Bagan managed to pull it out. But then very good. And now we would have thought if they would have fielded their main team, they would have smashed through every opposition at this point. So okay, I mean, no, that's still a speculation. So let's not go too much into speculations right now. So coming to the last of the semi-finals, Mumbai City versus Jamshedpur. Yeah, you would think Mumbai City would win, but no, Jamshedpur had other plans. 87th minute goal from I think the only Japanese international, or former Japanese international, the only Japanese player to play in the ISL right now, Rei Tachikawa, who scored in the 87th minute, being a defender. Yeah, so as the match, like Mumbai had so many chances to finish. I mean, if you look at the team wise, like individual wise, we would say Mumbai had the better team, but Jamshedpur had more cohesion. They defended as a unit and took their chance, even though it was late in the game. And all of a sudden, Jamshedpur are in the final. Okay, so now you have the final between Goa and Jamshedpur. Goa, a team who steamrolled, like pretty much steamrolled the way, like giving convincing. Only like once they've been like actually tested, and their players are dominating in almost all the stats as well in terms of striker, in terms of defense, in terms of goalkeeper. They are doing very well. And on the other side, Jamshedpur, who against all the odds and despite having gotten the difficult side of the table, managed to reach the final through completely resilient defensive performances. And all credit to their keeper Albino Gomez, who had a wonderful season, and he actually broke the record for the most number of saves in the league. I think he made 105 saves in the entire league, which is completely absurd. And again, he was very instrumental in their triumphs in this Super Cup. Yeah, so coming to the game, so there were high hopes. Okay, can Jamshedpur actually pull off? Can Khalid Jamil become the second Indian coach after Clifford Miranda's Odisha FC to win the Super Cup? But Goa had other plans. They opened the scoring early on in the 23rd minute, and after which they had a complete grip on the game. And you rarely saw Jamshedpur entering Goa's half. And before you know it, and exactly 25-30 minutes later, Goa put their second goal, Herrera with the brace. And they could have scored even more goals, but they started managing the game, trying to close off the game. Jamshedpur got chances here and there, but very good defending from the likes of Jingan and Co. to deny them this thing. And by the 72nd minute, Goa delivered the final blow through their foreigner Drasic, and I think the game was done and dusted at that point. Goa went on to win the Super Cup for the second time, thereby qualifying for the preliminary or playoff round of the AFC Champions League 2, the second tier of the AFC Cup competitions. So they'll have to play one game before the group stages. If they win, they qualify for the group stages. So nonetheless, if I would have any team that I would want to represent India in that particular competition, I would pick FC Goa. Although, as I said earlier, it would have been better if Manola was still there for the campaigns, because we do not know how the new coach is going to be. Hopefully they can show a good put up a good show in the ACL Elite ACL 2 and qualify. If not, at least if they do not win the game, they can go on to at least win the AFC Challenge League, because they definitely have a very strong win and could go all the way to win, because Indian teams are literally one of the best. And if it weren't for East Bengal choke job, we could have had an Indian team in the Challenge League final and probably could have won it. So yeah, that pretty much sums up the current edition of the Super Cup. We do not know of the future of this tournament. As much as we do not know what is the future of ISL, but nonetheless an entertaining tournament. And again, this is by far the longest season, the most number of games played in an Indian football season. So hopefully this continues, and that is what from a perspective of an Indian football fan I would want. But yeah, unless AFF has other plans, we never know. So I think that pretty much sums up the end of this video, and thank you for tuning in till now. If you have anything to ask us, any queries, please do ask us in the comments. Watch our other videos, like, share and subscribe, and yeah, bye bye.